Hello everyone, I hope you're all doing well and staying safe. For this video we'll be going through an unboxing and review of a Beast Combiner set. In this set we have Bumblebee and Snarlsaber, and all of this is one of the many figure sublines for Rise of the Beasts. So I've gone through a few different sublines previously, such as the Beast Weaponizers, the Battle Masters, the Battle Changers. So I thought I would grab some of these combiners because they kind of look cool, to see what they're like. And this will probably be the end of the more gimmicky side of things before I move into the Deluxe and the Voyager releases. So getting straight into this, because I actually have no idea what to expect with this. So front of the packaging with Bumblebee on the left, Snarlsaber on the right. Now, I'm definitely not expecting Snarlsaber to do too much, and Bumblebee, well, he's probably going to be a very simplistic figure with minimal articulation and things like that. Now, this combiner gimmick I do believe has also been in the Cyberverse side of things, so it's not exactly brand new. Here we have in the middle the combined Bumblebee Snarlsaber. So I dare say Snarlsaber is just some extra armor and weaponry on top of Bumblebee. His head does look cool though. So that is that. Back of the packaging. So on the left, Bumblebee, 7 steps of conversion. Actually, it looks like he might have some knees. So he will have a vehicle mode and his robot mode. Snarlsaber on the right. Doesn't say how many steps it takes to convert him over into Bumblebee's external armor, but no doubt we will find out. So now that we've looked at the packaging, time to open it up and actually see what this little Beast Combiners line is all about. And with everything out of the packaging, so we have one Snarlsaber, fairly large looking. We have a Bumblebee who, he doesn't look terrible, but he's definitely on the basic side. And of course we have a manual. So let's have a look at the manual. Try and get a better idea of what to expect with all of this. Okay, so start of the manual, pretty much start with Bumblebee's transformation from robot to vehicle. 7 steps, not too difficult. As a Snarlsaber, so his tail will detach and become a literal saber that Bumblebee can hold, which is very cool. And then otherwise, he literally just gets put on top of Bumblebee and things just move around and stuff. Interesting. Now, I never really spent much time with Cyberverse, so this gimmick generally is new to me, so definitely be interesting to see how it all fundamentally works. So that is the manual. Now, how are we going to do this? So Snarlsaber, the reason why I'm holding him is I'm actually going to take your tail out. So tail should just slide out of there quite nicely. And there should be an attachment point, or more to the point, Bumblebee will just hold it in his hand. And there you go. So that is the Bumblebee figure with a nice little saber. And he has just enough articulation to kinda look semi-cool with it. Emphasis on kinda. So that is that. So thank you very much for that. So we're going to slide that back in. We'll actually do the combiner gimmick at the end. So Bumblebee, the front, side, the back, is basically no kibble. The other side just a close-up of his head and his main torso. So he's obviously got enough detailing on him to realize who he is, but he's definitely not going to sport a lot of articulation and things like that to be highly playable. But in terms of colors, it's pretty much stock standard Bumblebee color with this nice golden yellow, and we do have some blue, black and silver to break things up a bit. So overall, it's not too bad. But yes, definitely a gimmick line, and it's definitely not for the sake of the included figure. Now, articulation, if there's any. His head is very much fixed, so don't expect anything with that. As for his arm, he can do a full 360 around, thanks to a ball socket. Can go all the way out, which is also very nice. And that's about it. Definitely not too much there. Nothing at the waist to be expected. Surprisingly, he can almost pull off a full split. So with that being said, the leg will go all the way to the front. Won't go too much far at the back thanks to his back quote-unquote kibble being in the way. Unfortunate. Now, he does have a knee band. Granted, it's a lower knee band. Although that'll be more transformation related than an actual knee band, but hey. He can actually do stuff with his actual lower legs, so it's definitely not that bad. He's got more articulation than some of the other subline figures, so it's not bad at all. So that's the knee, and he has a little bit of a toe movement there, mainly because of transformation. So overall, he has enough points of articulation to be interesting. That's probably about it. If you want something with a bit more playability, I'd probably recommend looking elsewhere at this point in time. But still, as the base figure, it's definitely not that bad. It's not a complete solid mess. Now, we will try and do a live transformation. So Bumblebee, so your bonnet will pretty much slide on down. Your torso will move up, which is very cool. Spin you around, lock the legs together, or try to, and then flip your feet inward. I don't know how well the feet are going to lock together. Relatively okay. Flip these over, and then push the top of his alt mode in. I wonder if that will tap better once I do stuff with the arms. And then the arms just slide in like so. Yeah, he does look a little bit better once the arms are actually in. So that was his basic transformation into his Chimera. Not terrible. Not fantastic, but not bad. And in terms of his vehicle mode, from the front, side, back, other side, from the top and from the bottom. Surprisingly, the bottom looks relatively neat. His wheels will move as to be expected. It's very nice. Colors are still the same, but honestly, he actually doesn't look too bad in his vehicle mode. The blue obviously helps with his windows, and the black, especially on the front, does help just give a little bit of detail in there as well. And he does have some of the silver on his front grills, so, you know, his vehicle mode actually isn't too bad at all. But yes, it's very simple, given that the concept of this gimmick is to connect up with Snarlsaber. So, that being said, let's convert him back into his robot mode, which took literally no time to do. Okay, so Bumblebee, Snarlsaber. Now, we'll try and do this live on camera. Okay, so take out the sword, which we've seen before. Definitely not too bad. It is nice that they've put some of that silver there on the edge to give it a bit of that actual saber look as well. So that does go a long way. So, according to this, so after we take out his tail, if we literally grab him, and he does have 2 tab ports here, and we're going to literally do those holes right there, put him into those, so he should tab into those. He does. Tabs very well into those. Okay, he does come out quite nicely, so obviously that's okay. Okay, just double check that we haven't inadvertently done weird things to Bumblebee. Okay, so that is step number 2. Number 3 is to tuck his front legs like that. Fairly easy. Do the same with his back legs. So now he looks like that. Yes, it's I don't know. Kind of reminds me of Invasion of the Body Snatchers. Now he is supposed to. Okay, so if you do that, or try to do that, so that will basically flip those things over. I'm assuming if I do that, that should lock things into place. Yes. And there's Bumblebee's rather oversized head. So Snarlsaber's head should be somewhat detachable. And that can then be attached through here. Bit of a shield, I dare say. And then the sword can be held by the hand again. If I can do that properly. Okay. So, we'll have to... Interesting. Okay, now that everything is hopefully staying down, so we'll take that away for the interim. So, Bumblebee with Snarlsaber equipped. So, from the front, from the side, from the back, from the other side, and he does look like he has a bit of a ranged weapon there. And then back to the front again, and just a bit of a close-up on his very interesting looking head and torso. Now, will you actually stand on your own 2 feet? Yes. Yes, you will. Articulation, yeah. Don't expect much. He has a little bit, which is obviously from Bumblebee, but because he has this giant thing now sitting on his upper body, creating some very oversized pauldrons and everything, any articulation he had has now been significantly reduced in the arms, so definitely don't expect too much there. His legs are still the same, they haven't been impacted by the combination of that. Otherwise, that's pretty much it. Snarlsaber appears to be pretty much in a fixed position, assuming it doesn't convert back. The little hand bit there is kind of cool. It's a shame there wasn't some more paint apps on it. So paint apps on this is very, very basic. So it's the main blue of the plastic with the silver here and there on the top of the head, and we do have some green or turquoise maybe, for the eyes. And then obviously a lot of that yellow for Bumblebee's head. Yeah, it's definitely, it's a pure gimmick line through and through. But it doesn't look too bad. But it's going to be one of those, if you elect to do it this way, you're going to put them there, stand them somewhere, and probably never see them again. Anyway. Final thoughts. So, Bumblebee, he's very basic in nature, so definitely more for your younger audience, not so much for your adult/mature audience of collectors, unless for whatever reason you're just a Puritan collector and just want everything under the sun, or you really like this particular gimmick, or you're a huge fan of Bumblebee, which I do believe there's a very good following of Bumblebee people. So Bumblebee's robot wasn't too bad. Nice to have a little bit of detailing. Nice that he does have some articulation. But he is very basic. His vehicle mode actually wasn't too bad, and I would almost dare say, as a trade-off, you could still have Bumblebee in his vehicle mode with Snarlsaber in his quote-unquote beast mode. I think that would be a very nice pairing, if that's something that you wouldn't mind doing. Snarlsaber, well, his basic mode doesn't do too much. The combined mode isn't too bad. It's, as I've mentioned a few times, it's pure gimmick through and through. But it is nice how we have the little, this little attachment on the forearm as well as the actual included weapon. So it does add a nice little armored look to Bumblebee. So aesthetically, it's very nice. I know it won't happen in the movie or in any other real types of media, really. But it's not too bad. I think for smaller kids who might enjoy some of this combination type concept and things like that, I think those smaller kids and younger audiences will probably get a bit more bang for the buck, to be honest. So for them, I think it's probably more within their particular spectrum of playability, whereas for, as I've mentioned, the adult and mature collectors, it's literally personal preference. So with that being said, unless you're a huge fan of Bumblebee, and this is to the adult mature collectors, you could probably give this one a miss. The gimmick is cool, but I don't think, especially if you're a more mature collector, you're probably after something with a bit more playability. For those with young kids who, possibly like Bumblebee, I think this actually would be pretty cool for them. There'll be some playability there. The combination armor gimmick isn't too bad, and the fact that you do still get two separate things after the fact isn't bad at all. So I think for them, they'll enjoy it a lot more. Me being on the mature collector side, it's one of those, it's nice that I've dabbled into this, but I'll probably, at least after Rise of the Beasts, only pick up stuff literally if it piques my interest. But I definitely wouldn't go and grab an entire subline of it again after the movie. But that's okay. Living is learning, and I don't mind. So that'll bring us to the end of the unboxing and review of the Bumblebee and Snarlsaber Beast Combiner. Very interesting gimmick subline. I do have two more to look at, so things could possibly improve. RC will be the interesting one, to be honest, because her figure will apparently sport 13 steps of transformation, which is a lot, I think, for this particular scaling. And with that being said, there's one or two figures within each subline that actually is worth the value. But I'll mention more of that once I do the RC unboxing and review. But I'm looking forward to that one. I think there's a lot of potential there. thank you very much for watching this first Beast Combiner unboxing and review video. Hopefully the rest will get a little bit shorter from here on in. Feel free to leave a like or comment, subscribe if you enjoyed the content. All of this does help support the channel, and I do greatly appreciate it. Extra content can also be found on my Instagram account, link in the description below, and I'll also have some extra shorts and community posts, etc. Floating around as time goes on. With that being said, stay safe and take care, and I will catch you all in a future video. See ya.